We're going to get into some 8-1 for your health. We've got Dr. Mitch Kovacs here, who's a family medicine physician with Penn Highlands Healthcare over in State College. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Yes, we're talking about a topic that's a little bit too near and dear to your heart. The 3 pillars, diet, exercise, a lot of people forget sleep.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You dealt with insomnia yourself.
Yeah, for pretty much my whole life. And then I realized that, you can actually do something about it. You don't just have to deal with it. Yeah, and then once I started working on it, now I bring it to all my patients because it's such an important issue.
And so people hear that tossed around, insomnia, I can't sleep. What exactly is the definition? What's the breakdown?
Yeah, so insomnia is when you have difficulty sleeping despite having plenty of time to sleep. But it's also at the same time the symptoms that you get during your wakeful time. So obviously that could come in the form of feeling sleepy during the daytime, but it can come in a lot of different forms too. It could be like you have poor focus during the day, that you feel agitated during the day, that you just have some problem that you're dealing with during the day that is connected to the poor sleep that you're getting.
There's so many different things on the market to help aid with your sleep. I guess, how do you know when this is a problem and I really need to seek help from a doctor?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I always say that if you are getting poor sleep, then that could definitely be something you talk to your doctor about. The amount of hours per sleep that each person needs is definitely something that depends on the person and really depends on your age. So the older we get, the less sleep we tend to need, but the majority of people need at least 7 hours. So if you're someone who's at least under the age of 65 and you're getting less than 7 hours and you have some sort of issue during the daytime, like you have poor focus, then that's something that you can definitely work on.
I feel like it could be easily misdiagnosed because you're thinking it could be this whole other subset of issues. But sleep is so crucial. I think people sometimes forget how good it is to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times sleep and insomnia can be its own problem, but at the same time it can be a problem with something else. So it could be that there is some association with anxiety, it could be asthma, it could be sleep apnea. And that's why it's important to talk to your doctor about those things, because it's great to not have to deal with it in isolation by yourself.
Yeah, I know the importance of a sleep routine is a good thing to implement, and I know people don't want to hear go to bed the same time, wake up the same time. It's kind of a struggle, but it does really pay off in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed this myself as someone who dealt with insomnia for a long time, that once I started keeping a routine, that was one of the big things that helps. And once I sort of stray from the routine, that's when the insomnia starts creeping back.
Yeah.
By going to bed at the same time every day and waking up every day, we're really trying to train our brain that there are awake hours and then there are sleep hours. And when we're trying to sleep during the awake hours or wake up during the sleep hours, that's when people have their struggles.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to just constantly balance things to keep you awake when you need to be awake, things to put you to sleep when you need to go to sleep. And yeah, that signal, but there are little things that we can do. And I know screen time, right, is probably a big proponent of that. Just lifestyle in general can contribute to your quality of sleep?
Yeah, absolutely. One of my mentors, who's a sleep specialist, once said that insomnia is because of bad behavior. And it can be from a lot of other things too, but I think we overlook just how much in the year 2025, how not conducive to good sleep we have sort of made our environment. So if we're watching TV in bed, if we're scrolling through our phone in bed, shining bright white lights into our eyes, especially while having a wakeful time in bed, is all just training our brain that it's not time to go to bed, it's time to stay awake, and then that manifests as insomnia.
Yeah, I think too, talk about caffeine and the role that can play. I know some people are really sensitive to it more than others.
Yeah, absolutely. So usually we recommend that as a general recommendation, no caffeine after lunch if you are someone who has sleep problems. Some people are caffeine super metabolizers. They can drink a big pot of coffee right before bed and then go to sleep. And if that's you, congratulations. That's not me. I found that I can get away with drinking caffeine until maybe like 3 p.m. But then if I'm drinking caffeine into the 4 p.m. hour, then usually I'm going to be up that night.
All right, you notice the differences.
Exactly.
What about any other indicators, any other advice or pieces of, tips, anything like that you can give us?
Yeah, so, there's this really great app that was created by the Department of Veteran Affairs, by the VA, that's completely free and was made for their patients. It's called CBTI Coach. That stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia Coach. And that is basically like having a stand-in for a sleep coach who can take in all your personalized sleep hours, what time you go to bed, how long it takes you to get to bed, and it can make personalized recommendations for you, and at the same time can teach you all about sleep. So everything we talked about today, plus all sorts of things more, you can find it on any mobile app store.
And as far as like people looking to maybe get a sleep study or go the extra mile with some of that, if they really want to, you know, take it more seriously or investigate why they're not getting a good night's sleep, what do you recommend with that?
Yeah, so definitely talk to your doctor about that. I'm accepting new patients, by the way. Am I allowed to look straight into the camera and say that? Okay, great. Yeah, because sleep apnea, I actually had sleep apnea as well, and even though I was working on all sorts of other sleep problems, I still wasn't getting a great restful night of sleep. So by talking with my doctor, then I actually got diagnosed and got that treated, and now my sleep problems are pretty much a thing of the past.
Yeah, I'm sure you're probably surprised how much it helped you when you actually were able to get a consistent night's sleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a lot to it, the whole circadian rhythm, and you do feel it, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you for stopping by and sharing. This was all great stuff to chat about.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And if you're looking for more details or information, you can check out the website right there on your screen.